A YouTuber named High Gear and his friend are riding dirt bikes in the Russian woods when one of them almost gets their head taken clean off. His friend ducks just in time to avoid a steel cable that's been stretched tightly between two trees. The tripwire would have done some serious damage if he hadn't moved out of the way. They think it's a trap set by some psycho lurking in the forest. You can hear the anger and disgust in his voice as he talks about what they should do next. He even talks about hiding in the woods for a while and getting revenge on whoever returns to the spot. Ultimately, they decide to simply disarm the trap and take the wire cable with them. If this video is real, then whoever set this trap must still be out there waiting for their next chance, so I hope High Gear and his friends stay safe out there. The Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado is thought to be very haunted and was the inspiration for Stephen King's The Shining. A YouTuber named Ricky Rock requests the most haunted room, 418, and records himself sleeping. Sounds of movement originate from within the room. Then at around 3 a.m., he claims a spirit entered his body. This is the exact moment it happened. He sits up and stares directly at the camera with a blank expression. I guess he could still be half asleep, but many believe that he is under the control of a spirit. And that's when some presence apparently made him speak in tongues. Watch this part and tell me if it sounds like something paranormal or someone having a bad dream.
I don't know.
The comment section of this video seems to be evenly split between fake and real, so let me know what you think based on what I was able to show. A YouTuber named This Is Dan Bell has made a name for himself by exploring some of the creepiest abandoned places on Earth. This time he is seeing what he can find at an abandoned house outside of Baltimore City, the former home of the notorious Stephen Craig Johnson to be exact. In 1983, Stephen Craig Johnson brutally ended the life of his child in a fit of delusional rage. The case grew famous all up and down the entire East Coast, and it doesn't look like anyone has lived in the house ever since. As Dan Bell travels deeper inside, you can feel the sadness and despair clinging to every room. Amidst the discarded debris and wreckage, Dan Bell finds a weird handwritten letter in the closet with illustrations of a woman on the front and back. There's a brief paragraph talking about how evil the house is and what can be done to stop it. Some of the handwriting is kind of hard to read, so if anyone wants to type this letter out, I would appreciate it. Two things seem kind of sketchy about this letter to me though. First of all, the ink does not look faded enough to be something from the 80s, and the paper does not seem very aged either. I don't think it was penned by anyone in the Johnson family, so maybe someone else snuck inside and placed it here in recent years. Dan Bell is understandably nervous at this point, but he has come this far and there's still an entire second floor left to explore. He eventually finds himself in a stale attic covered with scattered documents and heaps of trash. He's just about to leave when he makes eye contact with something that has been watching him all along. A vulture, the devourer of fallen animals, silently regards him from the floor. Its gaze is calm and expectant, almost prideful in a way. If this really is a wild animal and not staged, then it is almost certainly a bad omen for sure. A YouTuber named Nick makes it clear from the beginning that he does not believe in Bloody Mary in the slightest. He turns the lights off, and then 3 times in a row he sarcastically says,
Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. See guys, like I said.
Before he has a chance to finish his sentence, the figure touches him and he falls to the floor. If this was real, exactly how this video was recorded or uploaded remains a mystery, as it looks like Nick might not have pulled through. You won't want to leave the house after watching this video, posted to the Ghosts subreddit by Never2. The Redditor writes, my mother collected this video from her driveway in the woods. Any insight from this community on what or who it may be? The surveillance video does indeed show a dark driveway in the forest that appears to be haunted. A blurred figure in the top right corner breezes past, disappears, reappears again, and stops in the top left corner before the camera flashes in and out of focus. The footage then goes still, without anything obscuring the view. What do you think this foggy image could be? Some in the comments suggest it's light from a passing car, or another moving light source. Others say it's a bug, a spider web, or a camera glitch, but some suggest the fact that the fog disappears behind the tree refutes such claims. A number of folks are saying the footage appears authentic, with Still Alice writing, this is one of the most legit things I've seen on this sub for a while. Love this. Do you find yourself agreeing with the believers or the naysayers? If it isn't real, then what is? The Jordanian ghost hunter, known only as Mr. Harith, is back at it again with more scary stuff caught on live stream video, this time while exploring an abandoned house once inhabited by an alleged witch.
إن شاء الله يعني شوف في الحمام. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق.
This could be one of his friends, but each time he looks in the room the witch was just in, the figure has disappeared.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق.
Things get really weird when this ghost caught on live stream mysteriously disappears as well.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا 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 راح والله راح. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
This might have been caused by a live stream delay, except it doesn't drop frames and the resolution stays the same. The ghost witch is simply there 1 second and gone the next. A YouTuber called Survival Life tracks a gigantic snake across his local soccer field. I'm guessing that he must have been using a selfie stick to get this up close, but then again, it wouldn't surprise me if his hands and fingers were only inches away when this happened. Eventually, Survival Life backs off and leaves the snake alone, and I'm curious as to what kind of snake this was. I can tell by the tropical tree line that this video was taken somewhere near a jungle, in which case this snake could definitely be poisonous. Some of Survival Life's fans are saying that this was a cobra, and I just wanted to confirm what type of cobra this was. That way, we would know if Survival Life was risking a hospital trip or even his life here. Sarah Presley of Meet the Presleys apparently has caught a ghost on camera who is trying a little too hard to better know her and her family. It's past midnight when her son Josh turns off the lights. A ghost orb appears in the middle of the video at 2 minutes and 8 seconds, and then again briefly at 2 minutes and 13 seconds. When he crosses the room on his phone, the orb moves away from him. I think this light is from the screen of his phone. His mom, on the other hand, is creeped out beyond belief and pretty worried. Overall, I'm not sure if this video is paranormal or not and need your help to decide. In 2009, a paranormal research group was tasked with investigating ghost sightings at a cemetery in Tampa Bay. They review weeks worth of footage and uncover some weird things caught on camera. They think this video is paranormal because an odd light goes behind a marker, placing this object, be it a ghost, an orb, or whatever you want to call it, somewhere behind the fence. Therefore, it's not a bug or a dust particle moving up close, though it could simply be edited. The ghost hunters claim to record the spot for 3 more weeks before any other paranormal evidence is caught on video. This time their camera picks up a shadow figure moving off screen, along with some kind of ethereal mist blanketing this area that does not look like normal fog. It happens at the same time a car drives by, so I'm hoping this shadow figure is just caused by passing headlights. Otherwise, this video might be as paranormal as they say. A man is in a Mexican graveyard at 1:28 in the morning to see if a local legend about a crying girl is true. He has been waiting around for a while and is about to leave when suddenly he hears someone sobbing and sees a girl kneeling in the distance. He calls out to see if she is okay.
Amiga, niña. Ay, no seas imbécil.
I think it's strange that he would go to the graveyard all by himself, but then again, he probably didn't think anything would really happen, or maybe he couldn't find anyone brave enough to go with him. Either way, if he had more witnesses or a better camera, then I would be more inclined to believe this video was legit. Two girls are alone in their room when they decide to play Bloody Mary for fun. They look into their mirror and say Bloody Mary 3 times in a row with serious expressions. They wait for a bit before solemnly concluding that
nothing happened. Disappointing, right?
They are talking about trying it again during the night when something interrupts their thoughts.
That's weird.
They both look very serious, especially when they notice the cord to their overhead light bulb is now swinging on its own.
The light.
Almost as if someone had brushed past it. It's just the two of them and the door is locked. They quickly end the video, no doubt feeling very uncertain about what they've just done. A YouTuber named Sweet Dreams is shooting off Roman candles in celebration of the 4th of July when a shrill scream pierces the night air.
Did you hear that? Yeah, you go first. It's a farm animal.
They track the noise for well over a minute until it becomes louder and more distinct. At the end of a short journey, standing a very close distance away, they discover the shrieking source hunched over and alone.
What is that? Dude, what is that?
He slowly backs away from the bent-over gray humanoid and then goes into an all-out run. The creature gives chase and Sweet Dreams turns around to find it swiping at him through the air. I can't tell if this is an actual humanoid or just one of their friends with makeup on, so I'll leave it up to you to decide. All of the other videos on his channel are just him playing video games, nothing else like this one. If you've lost a loved one, you might sometimes feel that their spirit is still with you, and if you're anything like TikToker E to the R to the ICA, you might find video proof that this is actually true. Erica R 1971 posted this ghostly video to the site writing, "So my security picked this up tonight. My dad passed on November 26, and I wonder if it's him. The footage shows a ghostly figure pass by, floating casually past the security camera. The figure is white and vapor-like, appearing across the scene from right to left. If Erica is right, and this is in fact her father's spirit, what is he trying to tell her? Does he just want to comfort her by making his presence known? It does not look like CGI to me, so I think this video is 100% real. In Erica's place, would you feel comforted by a ghost?" The Crazy Red Show uploaded an odd sky sighting over the Hawaiian island of Maui that I think needs more coverage and further analysis.
I'm filming that, bruh. I'm telling you, bruh, they're right there. Holy
Lights in the sky have assembled into a strange formation that does not get closer or farther away, simply hovers without a sound. Looking back, the Crazy Red Show says he still has no idea what these lights were, describing the unexplained event as a surreal moment that, if he had to guess, might be a triangulating satellite system being launched. I admit I don't have much of an idea of what a satellite system looks like, but I would assume getting launched involves movement of some kind. Like I said, these unexplained lights in the sky seem stationary and make for a strange sighting caught on tape indeed. Tell me if you think this is something made by us. because a lot of people think this could be video evidence of visitors from someplace far beyond our world. I personally think it could be flares from a government drill, but it's too hard to say. It's 3 a.m. when an unseen employee of a pharmacy in Egypt turns on the television and pulls up a chair. More weird things are caught on camera. A liquid turns into mist and floats away, replaced by strange blotches on the floor and a deep, scary noise. Lights flicker as a grumbling paranormal force crosses the room and sinks 2 dark hoof prints into the glass countertop. Then the security equipment stops recording. They say anything can happen at 3 a.m., but I'm not sure if this scary 3 a.m. video is real, considering everything could have been done with voiceovers and CGI. A group of British ghost hunters are walking around the Wilney graveyard in search of paranormal evidence. It's late at night when they apparently find exactly what they are looking for. Pay close attention to the area between the 2 tombstones or you might miss it.
What the was that?
The man's flashlight passes over a tall silhouette that makes him pause. It looks like it could have simply been some shadows playing against the wall, but they light up the entire area. And there's no wall to be found. Let me know if you saw the strange shadowy figure and what you think it could have been. A camera pans across a white room filled with antique furniture and creepy collectibles, which is already bad enough, but when it stops at a tall old mirror, they seem surprised to find a childlike silhouette filling out the frame. As they are studying the child in their shaky gaze, a pair of identical orbs float above her head as 2 pinpoints of light become barely visible, almost like she is turning her head slightly. I guess this shadow child could simply be a large doll. However, even if this was the case, as far as I'm aware, only the eyes of the living can reflect light like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but a lifeless doll should never have glowing eyes. The person recording sees the eyes and tears up the steps in a hurry. They would later refer to the event only as the girl with sparkling eyes in the dark. This scary highway encounter would have easily gone unnoticed forever, if not for a dashcam recording. Pay attention to the bottom right and you'll see a blurry figure slip under the car in a matter of seconds. Pause the video and you'll see the undeniable outline of a girl from the waist up. She appears to be wearing a white dress and staring ahead with a gray face. I guess this could be light reflecting off of the pavement, but this also really does look like the outline of a person who was once living. Maybe every so often they appear in the exact same location where they sadly lost their life years ago. Will and Weston have been seeing a strange man walking around their house for a few days now, and they are determined to get it on camera so that people will finally believe them. This time when it comes around again, the 2 split up and start recording.
You know what? What was that? Whoa!
Weston captures the giant dark outline of a man and goes off running to find Will. They both seem more excited than scared, which is strange, but I guess that could be a normal reaction considering they have seen this person for days and have not been harmed. This could definitely be someone messing with them, but there's something about the overall pace of the video that seems real. Here's another picture that Will caught to further verify the story. Whoever it is, hopefully they stay in the woods and comes no closer to their home. A YouTuber named Adam Edwards is making a Disneyland vlog when suddenly something sinister decides to make an unwanted guest appearance behind him.
Hey guys, so today we're in Disneyland and I'm gonna look out the new ride.
2 hands reach out for him from behind a red curtain with long gnarled fingers. Adam quickly turns the corner and finds nothing where the hands just were. He goes back around the corner, and as soon as he starts talking, the hands return, yet when he checks again, nothing's there. I did notice that he never checks around the floor, so this could be a pre-planned prank. If that's the case, I'm guessing his friend was on the other side and they ducked down as soon as Adam went around the corner. Still, let me know if you recognize this part of Disneyland and if you've ever experienced anything similarly strange there. A person with an interest in graveyards is casually filming when they accidentally pick up a bizarre and possibly dangerous watcher. You can see a blurry shadow as it takes a few steps out from the other side of a wall, but the person recording doesn't seem to notice. It wasn't until much later that they reviewed the video and found the hidden lurker in the distance. I personally think that this could be CGI because the resolution of the video seems to have been lowered, which is always a sign of amateur effects. Then again, the person recording may have been using a cheap camera. Or maybe this is an older video. Rob Davies and Chris Felton are driving down the A696 highway in the UK when they see this weird figure flagging them down in the middle of the night. The video is too grainy for me to tell for sure, but they claim that this person was wearing an old baggy Royal Air Force uniform from the 1940s. I guess it does somewhat resemble a one-piece jumpsuit from that time. When Rob and Chris double back to pick up the stranger, he is gone. Rob returns home that night and does some research. As it turns out, a Royal Air Force plane lost control around a place called Middleton Farm in 1943. Coincidentally, that is exactly the same location where this video was supposedly recorded. Jack Shepherd is on a date with Charlotte Brown when he suggests they take a ride on his boat. She probably was imagining a common scenic tour on the water when she agrees, but Jack has other plans. He decides to impress her by going full speed ahead.
Oh my god, drive safe, boss! Oh, it's not.
Moments after taking this video, the boat collides with a floating tree trunk and throws them into the water. Only Jack survives. The London police later posted this video online to prove his guilt. After he tried to say Charlotte was the one driving, not him, Charlotte clearly tells Jack that he is going too fast, so I think he is definitely guilty of taking her life.
Oh my god, drive safe, boss! Oh, it's not.
He was eventually found guilty, but he has since fled and is currently on the run. Having seen the video evidence, tell me what type of punishment you think Jack Shepherd deserves if the authorities should ever find him. Anthony lives around a bunch of abandoned farmland that he has always wanted to explore. So he takes his camera and spends the whole day poking around. He doesn't know anything about the history of this land or why it was abandoned, but the more he discovers, the less alone he feels.
There's a bed in here. Hello?
The buildings are all single-story structures in various states of decay, and each one is somehow distinctly lonesome in its own way. By the time he comes across the main house, he is very jumpy and senses eyes on him from afar. Tell me if you hear whispering during this part when he opens the door.
Makes me weary.
I guess it could just be the creaky springs of an old screen door or something, but it really does sound like it could be voices. Anyway, the inside of the house is pretty well kept, especially compared to the other buildings, yet the unrelenting unholy aura only grows stronger with each step he takes. At one point, an abandoned nursery room literally makes Anthony nauseous. Surely something bad must have happened here.
This was a kid's room, and I feel so uneasy. I feel dizzy.
Anthony manages to check out the rest of the house, even the basement, without incident. He's ready to leave altogether, but there's just one final surprise left for him on the way out.
What the f was that? Something literally kicked the door.
The door abruptly closes with a short and impolite slam, the exact kind that homeowners use when they are upset with someone for being at their door. I don't think Anthony shut the door by himself because he was out of arm's reach when it happened, and maybe it's just me, but I think I can see some kind of shadowy mist in the window on the right. Coincidentally, in the same room he was just in. Hear that haunting whistle coming round the bend? It might just be the ghost train. Posted to YouTube by the Hidden Underbelly 2.0 in March of 2018, the CCTV footage purports to show a ghost train at the Baotou railway station in China. The uploader writes, when the station security were watching the surveillance cameras, they noticed this ghost train pull into the station. The eerie footage shows a transparent train pull up along the platform, mounted on the train tracks. As the uploader mentioned, the train pauses for its ghostly passengers to enter and exit before slowly leaving the station, picking up speed as around 8 carriages move past. Some in the comments of this video suggest the train is just the Hogwarts Express or a failed cloaking spell from amateur wizards. Others say it's a train from a parallel universe. Some call out fake, saying this video is actually filmed in a Russian train state and has been debunked for being superimposed. Don't know about you, but I'd like to imagine this ghost train truly does exist and is transporting our recently departed to the afterlife. Something is with exploring with Tom as he checks out an abandoned mansion that isn't so empty after all. Noises make him want to run away screaming for help, but he also wants to make longer YouTube videos than he normally does, so he pushes onwards.
I'm hoping no one's in here. No one's definitely gonna be in here, so I guess I'll be fine. Wait, what the?
Tom doesn't know what to think when a clown walks out and casually turns down the hall without a single glance his way. The clown begins to rock in place, and exploring with Tom actually starts to feel bad for him, which makes no sense in my opinion, because almost no one would approach a stranger dressed as a clown in a busted mansion. Instead of running away to get help, he decides to offer the clown help himself. He never does actually dial a number, another reason this could be fake.
If I call the police for you, you're gonna get some help, okay? You're gonna get some help. I'm gonna call the police for you right now, okay?
Suddenly, the clown snaps back to reality and rejects Tom's help with a look that makes him take off.
Yo, I'm gonna help you.
In my opinion, this final response is what he should have done all along. A YouTuber named Darren's Northern Life is doing some last-minute hunting at the end of the season. He sees a parked truck early on and knows that other hunters must be around, which means everybody should be extra careful. A short while later, he finds himself in one of the worst situations a hunter could ever possibly imagine.
Oh my goodness, that bullet just came over my head.
Darren hears the shot whiz by his head and scrambles for cover behind some trees. The other hunters still haven't noticed they are firing on another person and seem to be out of shouting range.
This guy's gonna f***ing kill me.
Darren scrambles to safety and can't even believe what just happened. Later, he goes back to the truck and records their license plate. They just so happen to be coming back as well.
Taking pictures of the license plate. Is something wrong? Everything all right? Somebody shot at me.
They claim it was a different person and not anyone in their party. Without any concrete evidence, I don't think there's much Darren can legally do besides upload the video and make the event public. Let me know if you think he has enough evidence to press charges based on what you've seen. This amateur footage catches a Disney worker dressed as Pluto chasing a small child in circles. The ordeal looks rather comical at first, until you hear the small child clearly screaming for his life and realize that this is no joke. Just as Pluto is about to grab the child, a nearby adult swings him around by the arm and tells him off. The whole park is watching at this point, so Pluto immediately goes back into character and tries to act like nothing serious happened. He walks away with his hands up as surprised parents continue to film him. I'm not really sure what caused the Disney worker to go off like this, though one rumor is that the child possibly kicked him. According to the uploader, Pluto was escorted away by a park employee, possibly security, shortly after. Bayrose H is certain that his house is haunted and claims this video is proof. For some reason, his little dog TJ is always growling at the corner of his bedroom. Bayrose shows that there is nothing of interest in the corner besides some old suitcases. Yet TJ refuses to give up. Eventually, TJ tracks something leaving the room that is undetectable to the human eye. Exactly what this dog was seeing is anyone's guess, but I think it was most likely a spiritual presence of some kind. Perhaps some kind of intense event once took place here and left a paranormal energy behind. This dashcam video shows traffic moving normally across 4 unobstructed lanes, when out of nowhere a woman appears in front of a black pickup truck. She keeps walking to the other side like nothing is wrong. The black pickup truck definitely hits its brakes, and the car behind them does so as well, which seems like a realistic response. Then again, there's clearly a red stoplight up ahead, so maybe they were braking for that instead. I don't know why this video is void of color. I'm assuming it's because black and white video would take up less space on the dashcam memory card, but it's safe to say that only a ghost would be able to do what this woman does. About 4:30 in the morning, when a Ring doorbell camera motion sensor goes off, there's some weird lights in the corner, but most Chills fans know by now that this is simply a spiderweb strand swinging back and forth in front of the camera. Even Lexus V says so in the description of this video. But with that said, I have no idea what happens next. A strange light appears at the window that they've never seen before and have never been able to explain since. The bizarre object hangs around long enough to make his dog go crazy. Another reason I think this video is real. There's no faking that kind of reaction from a dog. That animal knows something out there is a big threat, but what is it? A popular YouTuber named Mikey021 has reason to believe his house in Brazil is really haunted. He says it's not uncommon for objects to go moving on their own. Tell me if you think this home experiment is real or not. This video might be a spirit, or he could be blowing plastic cups off his counter with a hair dryer. It looks paranormal until you realize it could simply be wind. If some heavier objects were caught on camera from a different angle, showing both sides of the counter, then I would be more readily convinced, but as it stands, I'm just not sure if his house is haunted. 3 masked men attempt a daring heist in Sydney, Australia at the Miller Shopping Centre. They are in the middle of taking jewels when literally everyone in the store decides they are not going to take this, and soon the men find themselves running for their lives. Customers and staff join together and chase the men out of the mall. Not even the fact one of the masked men is holding a sledgehammer is enough to hold back the angry vigilante mob. The 3 masked men flee into a red van and speed away with the mob close behind. With so many similar instances caught on video, it's quite a surprise to see everyone join in to chase off the robbers for once. A YouTuber named Dan Loganiffy shot this Disneyland footage almost 10 years ago, and it still remains a paranormal point of contention even today. Dan's filming the end of a typical Disney fireworks show when he sees something strange and zooms in. A gray specter appears to be admiring the show from atop his perch on the Walt Disney Castle. It watches the final barrage of fireworks for a bit longer and then silently disappears from sight. Some people think that this was just a fireworks technician wearing dark clothing, while others are convinced that this is a phantom and possibly even the ghost of Walt Disney himself. I'm not sure what it was, but I do agree that the timing is very eerie. I mean, the ghost or whatever it was does happen to show up right before the final high note and then disappears shortly afterwards, so that's definitely odd. Let me know what you think it was, and if you think the timing was just a coincidence. A man is filming his local graveyard one calm day when he catches what could be a glimpse of the other side. He zooms in on the strange spot and finds no further traces of the paranormal. I don't know about you, but I can almost make out the head and shoulders of a small child when he slows the video down. Joe Morley goes exploring a cave in Tennessee that I don't think you're brave enough to watch, especially if you have a fear of tight spaces. He has to lower himself on a rope because the entrance goes straight down. One mistake and he's going to see the bottom a lot faster than he wants. The whole time he has to find his footing on a slippery cave wall in near total darkness. Soon he can't even see the top of his rope a few feet above. Help is far away down here. Joe's thankful when his feet find solid ground much later. Ahead is a narrow tunnel that he wants to go exploring. It only gets tighter, but there's no way to turn around. At times, there's barely enough room to get an arm in front to crawl sideways. Dropping through small cracks presents another problem. One false move and they could twist an ankle without any way to climb out. Joe is an experienced caver, and I guess the cave is sturdy, but this video still freaks me out. The entire time you feel like they are either going to get stuck or caved in. I don't know where in Tennessee this is, but I feel like coming back here a second time would be pushing their luck. This driver records a potentially supernatural highway encounter that leaves him speechless and terrified. According to the driver, this person was missing their head. Look again and you'll see it does look like they have no head, but it's probably just the way the headlights overpower the camera. There's just one thing though, even when they do get past the headlights, it still appears as if there is nothing above their shoulders. I need to include this video because I've never come across a paranormal video before with such an even split between people saying that it's absolutely fake and so obviously real. Some people are certain that this is the legitimate ghost of a child, and others are sure that this is special effects, light reflections, and a plastic bag, and a host of other non-paranormal explanations. As for me, I think that I probably would have noticed something that large moving out of the corner of my eye, so I think it could be fake. But then again, I can't say for sure unless I was there myself. Maybe the camera recorded something that was not discernible by the naked eye. A YouTuber named Bloodzack12 is investigating a forest that's supposedly haunted. He and his friends don't see anything for a long time until they come across some weird discarded opera mask laying on top of an old dirty clothes pile. A short distance away they find another opera mask hanging up in the trees. They decide to take this one home and study it for clues. They are talking about what to do next when Bloodzack12 notices something hunched over in front of them. Someone dressed in all black looks up at them from the thickets and then gives a short chase. I have a hard time believing this video is real because of the movie-like sound effects and timing, but I guess it is possible. Let me know if you think they were genuinely being chased by some maniac lurking in the woods, or if the third person was just a friend. A YouTuber named Encounters26 is fishing late at night in Bishopville, Maryland, when he comes across something unnatural in the forest.
Do you see it where? Holy.
A silent, hulking figure makes its way through the murky swampland, apparently trying to get away quickly without being noticed. Encounters26 believes this to be some sort of lizard man creature, which would explain why the creature does not make any noise as it tries to escape the flashlight's glare. I was almost positive that this was just a person in a suit until it turns back to the camera. You can see some sort of sharp white scales coming out of its back, almost like a dinosaur, and its arms look way too skinny to be a person's.
Holy.
YouTuber named Dare to Be Crimson Lace was at Disneyland during the summer of 2015 when she says this strange black floating ring suddenly materialized over Tomorrowland at around 10 at night.
crystal? Can we go somewhere, please? Just, Mommy, I don't like this.
The giant asymmetrical circle silently hovers over the park. As this YouTuber and her family discuss what to do next, they consider asking a park employee what the ring is, but none of them can look away from the mesmerizing disc in the sky long enough to ask. Many other visitors recorded the exact same ring and uploaded it, so it definitely happened. I researched this story and could find no official response from Disney. Some people have claimed that this was a smoke ring caused by a fireworks demonstration, but many UFO believers say that this is just a cover-up story for something bigger. Let me know if you've seen a similar ring created from fireworks, or if you think it could be something a lot more bizarre than that. A YouTuber named Gaurav Zone is examining a notoriously haunted road in New Delhi, India. They idle their car and wait in darkness for a while to see what happens next. I was starting to think the video could be fake until I noticed one part in particular. What appears to be two yellowish eyes briefly stare at them before disappearing. I was thinking that this could just be a reflection of the car's brake lights, but if that was the case, then the light should be red, not yellow. I also don't know what would catch the light's reflection, since they are on a desolate road in the middle of nowhere. The strange eyes, if that's what they were, disappear and never return, not even when the cameraman zooms in for a closer look. A man follows his girlfriend everywhere with a camera to annoy her because he thinks it's funny. He was never expecting to have caught the scariest moment of his life on tape instead. A fully clothed figure reaches out for him after his girlfriend has left the room. When he pulls back the curtain, it's mysteriously gone. The paranormal moment looks scary, but I think there's a strong chance it's scripted. 38 seconds is when there could have been a jump cut. A jump cut is when they stopped recording, let the actress out of the shower, and start recording again to make it look like no one is there. Also, at 42 seconds, it doesn't look like the shower is on. That's what this YouTuber thinks about Bloody Mary after making this video. He says her name way more than 3 times, and then begins to taunt her out loud.
Are you real Bloody Mary, or are you just a f***ing joke? Did y'all just hear that?
Still not convinced, the brave teen says her name some more and waits. It isn't long before he gets his reply.
Do that. What's going on here?
Drawers are opening on their own, the faucet turns on, and he soon concludes that Bloody Mary is very real after all. He goes to grab the door and finds that it won't budge. He puts his hands on top of his head now, obviously distressed. Just when he is sure that he's a goner, he manages to open the door and make an escape. A Spanish-speaking YouTube channel called Fearless Omar Crew pairs up with Ricky Velasquez to track down what they are calling the most cursed witch in the world. Silently watching from within a hideout in the middle of the woods is a dark figure. Their high-powered survival flashlight does nothing to brighten its face, even when shined directly in the window. They should run away screaming for help then and there because, I mean, nobody wants to get a curse after all. But the group decides to go on the offensive and confront whoever or whatever is inside. Waiting for them is this creepy doll pointing their way. Again, running away and getting help seems like the smartest possible option at this point, but they instead walk around while actually holding the doll, checking every hiding spot possible. Then they hear this disembodied voice in an area that they just looked in moments before.
¿Quién eres?
I think it might be the witch taunting them further. Perhaps the doll was not pointing at them earlier, but rather at someone behind them. Anyway, as they are trying to make sense of the situation, this noise scatters their thoughts. If you speak Spanish, please give us a rundown on their conversation before this happens, as well as their reaction after.
Es que si algo mejor. Luego cuando estoy agarrando el celular me pongo una, pero ahorita si me puedo poner las dos.
That absolutely sounded like a cackle of a witch taking enjoyment in their fear, or at least a woman who lost her mind long ago. Maybe whoever was laughing was also placing a powerful curse on them both, one that I hope does not extend to me and you. The ghost finders of Bangladesh are ready to document evidence of paranormal activity in this haunted forest at night. They wait until past midnight to begin the search. Under a full moon, they soon see wide white eyes looking back at them.
ওখানে কি একটা যেন নড়ছে আছে ওখানে কিছু একটা যেন আছে নড়াচড়া করছে হ্যাঁ ওখানে কিছু একটা ওখানে আছে কিছু একটা লাইট আসছে কিছু একটা আছে
Spirits, they think. Forest animals, I say. But I guess having lived here all their lives, they would know the difference better than I.
তো গাইস ফাইনালি আমরা আমাদের ক্যামেরা যেখানে সেটআপ করেছিলাম সেখানে চলে এসেছি এবং আমরা দেখব পরে ভিডিওটা এডিট করার সময় যে এতে কিছু রেকর্ড হয়েছে কিনা।
At 3 minutes and 15 seconds, they shine their lights directly at a pair of spectral eyes that seem to be attached to nothing at all. Freaky, right? The ghost finders are outnumbered, and having found plenty of ghosts tonight, opt to leave before they become the latest additions. A YouTuber named Nightshade stands at the top of his steps after hearing noises coming from deep within his basement. Every time he says something, orbs seem to follow.
Hello?
He tries to keep his calm as he makes a request of the ghost to confirm it's real, and they're with him. Watch as the orbs seem to go up the steps when asked.
If you could come up the stairs for me if you haven't already done so, please do it now. If it was Mr. Grooters, you could go down the stairs, but Mrs. Grooters, you would not go down the stairs.
And when he goes down the steps, one of his dogs seems hesitant to follow. They too seem to notice the abundant number of white circular orbs that now dance all around. A motorist in Lagos, Nigeria is making his way down the road, just basically minding his own business when he notices a major traffic slowdown ahead. That's when he and his passenger both see a big red fuel truck heading in reverse. Watch this part and tell me what you think the fuel truck crew is doing here. It almost looks like they are trying to throw something into the tires to stop the truck from going backwards, but I can't tell for sure.
Hold on. An accident will happen now. Thank God, hold on.
The driver and his friend think they may have made it through the worst part, but seconds later they hear a huge bang from behind. I guess the fuel truck backed into something and then blew up, but I'm not sure what happened and I couldn't find any articles with a clear explanation, so I'd like to hear yours. The driver pulls over to assist however he can, and the video ends shortly thereafter. Jeff Wesley is a paramedic whose YouTube channel gives us a glimpse into the frantic lives of emergency medical service technicians everywhere. Today, he must drive an ambulance full speed into the heavy rains, making his job more difficult than usual. The roads are slick and the driver visibility is very low. Every intersection is a serious gamble. Sometimes the roadways grow narrow and give cars a little difficulty pulling over. At one point, some local wildlife even veers into the ambulance's path at the last minute.
Oh, come on, Doc. Jesus. I missed it. I didn't hit it.
Despite all of this, Jeff Wesley gets to the scene quickly and is able to provide help. I just want to give a shout out to Jeff Wesley and all of the other EMS workers like him for their courage and service, as this video clearly demonstrates. Dennis and Tim of Nerve Paranormal return to the Atkinson Manor to see if there's anything they've missed their first time around. There certainly is something they've missed before, and it definitely does not miss them. They are first greeted by a stuffed animal that I don't think was there before. It looks much less dusty than the steps around it, and therefore was probably put there recently. Nerve Paranormal could have put that there themselves though, so even though it's creepy, it's also easily disproven. Less easy to disprove, however, is when they hear this commotion while holding a spirit box session. It sounds like something runs up the steps moments before the door opens, yet no one is there. When they return downstairs, they find this blue kid's chair, shown briefly at 3 minutes and 50 seconds, is now part of a neatly arranged circle at 17 minutes and 30 seconds. Just as they are wondering how the chairs got this way, they get their answer. This still frame, taken in a flash of his camera at 17 minutes and 44 seconds, shows the chairs 1 second before they pull away. You can see no strings running on the floor whatsoever. I don't see how this is possible unless they put magnets on the bottom of these chairs and slid them across the ground from one floor below, which requires 4 different people and a lot of effort. Instead of running away to somewhere safe, they stand their ground, which seems to make the ghost of the manor grow even more displeased. Then again, this object just so happens to be within kicking distance of the cameraman, so maybe he did it himself and then acted surprised. When Tim and Dennis decide to leave a minute later, they hear 4 footsteps and the doors open. This could be a spirit or it could be their friends. I think it could be real considering they eventually chose to escape off the roof and risk falling to get out of there. A man is driving down a haunted road in Hawaii when he sees a pale beige orb on the left side of his camera.
No idea what that is on my screen. It looks like a ball of light on the left.
I thought it was just his finger until I realized it was semi-transparent and slightly changing shape.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I have no clue. There's nothing there.
Watch this part and you'll see there's no way that this is his thumb. His passenger points at something on the side of the right, and their hand actually appears in front of the orb. The weird circle continues to hover in the corner for a full 3 minutes. It does not fade or go away even when they pull over, turn off the lights, and step out of the car into darkness.
It's still there. It's moving. It's still on the left. And I don't know what that...
If you have any idea how an orb could stay so plainly visible even without a light source, then let me know because I am honestly stumped. If you feel you're alone in this world, this eerie footage might call that into question. Captured on CCTV footage in July of 2016, a long shot of a road below shows a couple walking down the street. They think they're alone, but are they? Floating eerily behind them, a ghost white fog appears. It seems to come directly out of the man in the white shirt, as if his spirit presence is lagging behind the pair. It mirrors him before following the couple around the corner, disappearing out of sight. Is this just a glitch in the surveillance camera, or is it a glitch in the Matrix? One way or another, we may be sharing this world with spirits unknown. A photographer pulls his car over just outside of the Darawar Fort in the Pakistani desert. He keeps his dash cam running as he adjusts his camera equipment to get a better shot. While he is busy snapping pictures, a mysterious shadowy figure hurries down the road. No other cars or people are around for miles. There's no reason for someone to be walking this great distance by themselves. They get towards the end of the road and quietly disappear, which leaves only 2 possible explanations. Either this was a real highway ghost encounter or just video editing. I stumbled across a scary elevator video from a Hindi-speaking YouTube channel. This video was the thumbnail image, and yet the video itself was missing on the list. That made me want to track down the original, and guess what? It's every bit as creepy as it looks. What looks like your average couple's argument goes way too far when he sees the door close at 8 seconds. The woman fearfully flinches, and this video is hard to watch because nobody deserves this and there's nowhere for her to go. By the time the elevator stops, her hands are tense and she is completely frazzled from the mistreatment. He goes to get her, but a stranger does the right thing and steps in between them. He immediately backs off and looks down in shame and embarrassment, but probably only for himself at getting caught. Anyone who does this is pretty messed up. I think this relationship is probably over. Anyway, this was originally posted by the Interval House in California, a place for women to get out of relationships like this one. I'm assuming this CCTV video is real, and it's something we really need to eliminate from society however we can. Two friends think they may have recorded the presence of a spirit when they entered a graveyard late at night. Here's their evidence. Look at the back row of tombstones on the right and focus on the one that's closest to the road.
Only see what's in front of us. We'll turn that shit off.
An intense source of light plays over the gravestone. It could be a reflection of their headlights bouncing off some glass, but something seems a little off about the angle, and if this gravestone was not made of glass, then there is absolutely no explanation for this video. Let me know if you think this is real, or if they got fooled by their own car.
You only see what's in front of us. Well, turn that shit off.
A YouTuber named DX5K doesn't really believe in Bloody Mary, but at the same time, he just can't seem to stop trying to summon her. This is his third try, and it seems to be going as poorly as the other 2 attempts. He gets an idea and decides that he should try to summon her in total darkness, and that's when things start to get interesting in a potentially paranormal way.
Maybe without the candle. Wow, I tried to blow the candle out and it came back on. Let's try it again. Wow, that's actually spooky. I can't blow the candle out. Now this is getting interesting. This is I like. Let's go.
The candle continues to stay lit despite blowing straight on it. You can hear the curiosity in his voice as DX5K starts to consider the possibility that he may not be alone after all. He quickly shakes the thought out of his mind and tries to blow out the candles for a third time.
Nah, say something. I blew your candle out. I seen you kept trying to put the candle back up. It's lit.
This time, the candle goes out and he resumes talking trash to Bloody Mary. This could be proof that the legend is not real, or maybe Bloody Mary does not show up for non-believers. If it's not real, then I'd like to know why he couldn't blow out the candle. It doesn't really sound like he is acting. These visitors are boarding the Space Mountain ride when apparently something decides to go with them. Watch it approach from the left side of the screen and let me know if you see it or not. A transparent beam of light appears to move into the roller coaster and then suddenly vanishes. Some people have claimed that this is a famous ghost called Mr. One Way. According to legend, this ghost will sit next to you on a ride and have a conversation for a while before disappearing. This looks like it could just be a glitch in some grainy VHS tape to me, but some people claim that this is indisputable proof of Mr. One Way in action. Even if this video is a malfunction and not paranormal, I guess the legend could still be true. Upbeat Jason puts on a helmet cam and rides around the neighborhood with his friend on BMX bikes. The video is mostly a nice view of the countryside until he comes across some neighbors with aggressive dogs and no leash. Jason tries to get past them instead of taking another way around, and suddenly finds himself flanked on both sides.
Ah! There, go fast!
A dog lunges straight at Jason, jaws snapping. I don't think they make any contact, but I can tell by the sound of their bark that they are ready to attack. Clearly, they would have protected their territory if Jason stuck around, which he does not. But just when he thinks he is a safe distance away, he hears barking behind him and the chase is on again. Eventually, an adult picks them up and quickly puts their bike in the back of their truck before anything else happens. I really hope the two friends never bike past that house again. Lachlan McGilvery is on vacation when these wild monkeys take over his resort room from an open balcony. His son makes eye contact and gets ready to close the door if it pounces. Lachlan really should be running away himself, but he continues to record. He aggressively steps forward when one of the monkeys starts playing around with his phone. Fortunately, they relent this time and drop his phone. But at 28 seconds, you can see one of them shows their teeth, ready to chomp if he comes any closer. Even though they are much smaller, their chomp is much worse than ours. He is outnumbered and who knows if they are carrying something contagious, so he really should have ran away. Thank you so much for getting me to 20,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 30,000 subscribers next. Thank you.